What is the balance of activating a force for change, but also trying to permeate that patriarchy, that power structure? And is that a part of the calculation of your art as well? And what's been the reaction to that?
Oh, absolutely. I like to make men uncomfortable. I enjoy making men uncomfortable. Not you, just
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and yikers. I mean, maximum yikes, as Star Wars seems just completely determined to destroy everything that George Lucas built. Now, I'm not going to say that every movie George Lucas ever made in the Star Wars universe was perfect, or every character was perfect, Jar Jar Binks and things of that nature. But basically, Jar Jar Binks is the only good, is probably better than anything Disney Star Wars has put out. Certainly, there were good episodes of The Mandalorian. I'm not just going to hate for hate's sake. And I actually think the only good movie Disney Star Wars put out happened to be Rogue One. But on top of that, it's basically been a retread, reimagining, update, strong independent women who don't need no man, filter on Star Wars. And the franchise is in shambles. In fact, Disney has canceled Star Wars projects. They had Solo, a Star Wars story, lose money, a Star Wars movie lose money. It performed so poorly that they canceled other Star Wars films. And now, finally, even though Kathleen Kennedy has been in charge of Star Wars for 12 years, let's not also forget the disaster that was the Star Wars hotel that closed down in like a year's time. Massive, hundreds of millions of dollars lost there. But Kathleen Kennedy, says the Force is female, but now Kathleen Kennedy is a woman, although who can say even what is a woman these days? But apparently, it's now finally time for a woman to take over Star Wars. Now we have a Pakistani feminist taking over the $67 billion franchise. Finally! Oh my God, finally a woman! For the first time ever. Except, again, Kathleen Kennedy has been in charge of the franchise for 12 years and is getting absolutely eviscerated online. It is so pathetically, obvious. These headlines, like, oh, it's the first woman that ever did anything ever. Oh, it's the first woman who happens to be black. Oh, now it's the first woman who's an Indian. And now that's literally all of Disney's marketing. Look at the marketing you saw for Miss Marvel. Hey, it's Iman Vellani. By the way, no disrespect to her. She seems like a nice girl. See this movie. Why should I see this movie? Because she's a Muslim. Oh, okay. Well, that's not enough for me to want to see a superhero movie. Oh, go see Captain Marvel or The Marvels. Oh, why should I see this? Whammon! You have a whammon, and then you have a black whammon, and then you have a brown whammon, and then you have another whammon. This is what Disney does. Okay, so now they have decided that they are going to change the entire trajectory of the Star Wars universe to make it for women, and I absolutely love it. Burn it all down. Everything that we grew up loving, burn it to the ground. There is nothing left. I'm here for it, because you know what? The people that own this stuff nowadays, they don't care about us. They don't care about the original IP. They don't care about anything but enriching themselves, so let it burn. We'll all have our original and or downloaded versions of the films that we can watch yearly and enjoy, and we don't need to partake in any of this absolute trash. Disney hands over $67 billion Star Wars franchise to Pakistani feminist activist Obaid Chinoy on the new film she will be directing for the franchise. Quote, "We're in 2024, and it's about time a woman shape a story in a galaxy." What? What has Kathleen Kennedy been doing for the past 12 flippin' years? What has Kathleen Kennedy been doing for the last 12 years? Legitimately, I would like to know. Has she not been, quote unquote, shaping the Star Wars universe? I'm pretty sure she's been pretty heavily involved in, again, shaping the Star Wars universe. I mean, these women are delusional, and the men that are hiring them are delusional. How about this clip from Women in the World, featuring 4 women, Jon Stewart and 3 other women. Star Wars director, quote, "I like to make men feel uncomfortable."
What is the balance of activating a force for change, but also trying to permeate that patriarchy, that power structure? And is that a part of the calculation?
Patriarchy? Girl, we are living in a matriarchy. Are you kidding me? Look at every major CEO you've seen out there. They're either a woman or a POC, all right? This whole white men run the world thing is baloney sausage, okay? And look at what all these great women are doing. Look at the state of the Star Wars franchise. That's not a dig at all women, okay? What that is saying that hiring a woman, or to be fair, the exact same argument can be made, hiring a man just because of what's between their legs does not actually make them good at the job.
Calculation of your art as well, and what's been the reaction to that?
Oh, absolutely. I like to make men uncomfortable. I enjoy making men uncomfortable.
Yeah, I can see you look gross. It makes me uncomfortable just looking at you. Okay? Like, I don't even, stuff like this guy, this here, J4 Jesus writes, "I'm a woman and this ish is getting old." It is getting old. I mean, it is so played out. Like, bro, you thought, just put this movie out. I can't wait for you to do it. You put this movie out, okay? You know, there's a reason, by the way. Now, but look, there are a lot of female Star Wars fans. Let's not pretend like it's like a net zero. It's not like there's, you know, it's like you might look at like Arnold Schwarzenegger movies or something like that, like where, you know, it's probably 95-5 or something like that. Or the quartering videos where it's 90, now featuring 10% women. Shout out, ladies. Appreciate you. But, you know, Star Wars is probably more like 80-20. You know, it's still overwhelmingly men. All right. So, fellas and ladies, if you're sick of this, don't even entertain it. Spend the next year making fun of everything Star Wars. Don't buy anything. Post pictures of all their products on the clearance racks. Laugh in their face non-stop, because that's what they're doing to you. By the way, also spoke at the World Economic Forum. What a coincidence! I need some of that sweet Notisol that comedian Danny sells, like to stop noticing these things. What a coincidence! The next Star Wars film will be directed by feminist activist and former journalist. The theme is centered around feminism. What could go wrong? I don't even understand what I can say at this point. And of course, here comes the articles, right? Name a movie this broad's directed. Name one. Anybody, without Googling it, without... If I were running Star Wars, okay, I know I would be doing it poorly because as a man, it would just, you know, inherently, I would make the wrong decisions. But let's just say hypothetically, I was running Star Wars, okay? Here's what I might do. I would find the best and most dedicated director on the planet. I would find the director that grew up watching Star Wars films. I would find the director that sat in line to get into the first showings in whatever small town they grew up in. And that is who would be directing Star Wars. I wouldn't give a rip if they were a man, a woman, brown, not brown, gay or straight. None of that would matter. I would find somebody who has a long history of directing high quality films and who loves Star Wars. It honestly seems like this should be the easiest job to hire for on the planet. Most of these directors are in their 40s, between 35 and 75. All of them know Star Wars. Many of them grew up with Star Wars. Why is it so hard to hire a director who actually loves the freaking product? Of course, the articles are already coming out. Fanboy anger grows over director Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy's upcoming feminist Star Wars. I don't understand how Disney, a powerful media entity, would entrust their most profitable IP in the hands of a documentary filmmaker who has barely directed any fiction. Can anyone answer this? Yes, Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy was chosen to direct the next Star Wars movie, The Jedi Order, which will have Daisy Ridley's Rey back in the fray. Thank God. I haven't seen that forehead in a dog's age. Obaid-Chinoy was one of 5 directors on Miss Marvel. One of 5 directors on a movie that is the biggest box office disaster in Marvel cinematic history. Again, let me repeat. 5 strong independent women put their heads together, and what they produced was the biggest box office disaster in Marvel cinematic history. And it wasn't even close. To make matters worse, speaking to CNN, she raised the ire of Star Wars fans. She was briefly asked about upcoming Star Wars movie, which she states will be something very special. And that it's about time a female director leads one of these movies. Are you on crack, woman? This is what I mean. They hire these idiots who have zero clue what's actually going on in the Star Wars universe. If she knew a damn thing at all, she'd know that Kathleen Kennedy has been at running the ship, piloting, captaining the ship into the sun for the past dozen years. Way to read the room, Lucasfilm. Obadiah Chinoy is also flat out wrong. Has she seen any of the Star Wars movies? Carrie Fisher's Princess Leia played a major role in the first 3 films. More recently, actress Felicity Jones headlined Rogue One's A Star Wars Story, by the way, the only good Disney Star Wars movie. And of course, there's Rey. Over at StarWars.net, Rob Leonardo had this to say about her comments. This is a disappointing statement from Sharmeen. If her focus is that she's a woman directing a Star Wars film, her focus is in the wrong place. If she was attempting to get fans excited, she's likely done the opposite. This endless quest for virtue signaling has to end. Make a good film, Sharmeen. Blow the audience away. Bring Star Wars back to the center of entertainment with a movie so engaging, exciting, and well-made, it will leave audience and critics cheering. Do that, and then you can talk about being a woman all you want and people will cheer. Until then, please stop sounding like you're working in Disney's PR department with a focus on diversity and equity. I just don't get how, out of all the qualified directors out there in desperate need of steering the sinking ship back into place, Disney decided to hire a person known for their documentaries. A Pakistani filmmaker who's only directed a few episodes of Captain Marvel's Disney's Miss Marvel, and is also known for her activist work in films that highlight gender inequality against women. I mean, look, I'd be lying to you if I didn't say I was super excited and I wanted this movie to come out tomorrow, because I am super excited and I want this movie to come out tomorrow because Lord knows we're going to have a lot of fun with the content. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do leave a like down below the video. If you haven't yet, please do subscribe or follow the channel, and we'll talk to you again real soon.